Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. There are many religions out there, but how do we come to know what a true religion is without verifiable objective evidence? The greatest gift of the night journey was the divine decree establishing the 5 daily prayers. Therefore, there is correlation and co-genetic relationship between daily prayers and the night journey. Now here we have the night journey, and here we have the daily prayers, and they are co-genetic. They came together. There is also relationship between the 5 daily prayers and the first chapter of the Quran, Surah Al-Fatiha. Since the first chapter serves as the prayer's primary spiritual context. And here is the first chapter. You can see that the cryptic codes begin right after the first chapter, and the last of them is right before the chapter on reality. We also see the relationship that exists between the 29 cryptic codes and the prayers, since the prayers' numerical structure, which are 2, 4, 4, 3, 4, is the product of the 2 significant numbers in the codes, which are 38 here and 643 here. So the 14 patterns of the codes have a total of 38 letters, and when you add the numerical values of those 38 letters, you get 643. And when you multiply these two, you get 24434. Here you can also see some interesting numbers here. You can see the same way that 38 here was the root of 643. By the root, in this case, we mean the 38 gave rise to number 643. You can see that here, the 2 digits of 38, which are 3 and 8, also in this beautiful equation give us 643 here. It's a very beautiful equation. You can see that 3 to the power of 8 plus 8 to the power of 3 divided by 3 plus 8 gives us 643. You can also see that you see the same 2 numbers of 643 and 38 in the decimal expansion of pi. You got here 643, right after that comes the 38. So something to remember and realize that this number is significant. The profound connection between the 5 daily prayers and cryptic codes is an objective and verifiable miracle. That was our first question about the religions. How do we come to know without objective and verifiable miracle evidence? It is a miracle because it is a welcome event that is not explicable by natural or scientific laws, and is therefore considered to be the work of a divine agency. It is also objective and verifiable, as it could be mathematically proven to be true. And here we have the codes, very significant, very significant. In most cases, when there is a code in the Quran, right after that, almost right after that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have verses about the greatness of the Quran. That's a sign of the significance of the codes that for the last 1,400 years have received very little attention. The image here shows a simple form of the order of the 29 codes. In previous videos, in particular, in our 5th video about the divine origin of the Quran and number theory, we introduced more complex orders. The image here shows the 3 main patterns of the codes and how they partition the 29 codes. Here we have 3 main patterns. These 3 main patterns add up to 18 of the codes out of 29. So we got 18 of them have these patterns, and 11 of them are different. So Alif Lam Ra, there are 5 of them. We have highlighted it with the green. Alif Lam Mim, there are 6 of them, highlighted with blue. And Ham Mim, there are 7 of them. You can see right the beautiful order here. 5, 6, 7, and we have them here, 5, 6, 7. They are consecutive numbers. And then the last of the 5, the last of Alif Lam Ra's are in this green box. And when you count from the beginning, you're going to see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this is the last code of the first 9 codes. So this is right over here. Now we look at the Alif Lam Mim, and we have it in this blue box here. when you count, you're going to see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's also the last of the second 9 codes. And we have it here. And then you go to the Hamim, there are 7 of them. And this is in the red box, the last one. And again you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it's also the 9. And then we have the 2. In early discussions, we gave more complex structures of the same thing that we have over here that also included these 2. Now, over here, we have a beautiful order. And again, this beautiful order is also a welcome event. It's a welcome event. It's beautiful to know Quran has beautiful mathematical structures and order. This beautiful order is also a welcome event that cannot be explained by natural and scientific laws, and is therefore considered to be the work of a divine agency. The 23rd code here is unique among the 29. The 23rd code with 2 complete verses of its own appears to have a particular significance. This is the only code that has 2 complete verses all to itself, suggesting privilege. Other codes, they are either in one verse or they are part of a verse. But this code, which is the 23rd code, like the 23 years that it took for Quran to be completed, and most likely the first revelation was also on the 23rd day of the month of Ramadan. This code has a special significance. The highlighted 23rd cryptic code has 2 letters in the first verse and 3 letters in the second verse. So you can see here, Mim here, and then Sin Qaf. Here we got 2 letters in the first that matches these 2, and 3 letters in the second that matches 3. And the question here is this: could there be a correlation between the 23rd code and the 5 daily prayers, in a way that the 2 and 3 of daily prayers also, in a way, tell us about number 23. This is a question that, inshallah, we're going to answer in this work. Could there be a correlation between the 23rd code and the 5 daily prayers? And if it is, this is really, really deep and profound, and tell us how deep the Quran is. It's not only for 1 or 2 or 10, 50 generations. It's not for a tribal culture or some other type of culture. It's deep. This is a little background from our first episode. The inclination of the Earth's axis of rotation, which is the cause of seasons, currently stand at 23.4 degrees and is decreasing. It's not fixed, it's decreasing by 47 arc seconds per 100 years. In this work, we use 23 instead of 23.4 degrees. And we have adjusted it to a year in the 6th millennium. Something like around 5,400. This is what we use. In the first episode, I always also mentioned that while teaching a physical geography course, I began to consider a potential correlation between the 5 daily prayers and the reasons for the seasons, which is the inclination of the Earth's axis of rotation. And I asked, could the 2 and 3 rakat prayers before sunrise and after sunset in the astronomical twilight zone, which is here, in the astronomical twilight zone, be related to the inclination of the Earth's axis of rotation? There were some reasons. The most significant one was that these 2 and 3 are in the astronomical twilight zone. And if you consider this a straight line horizon, for now be the ecliptic, when you are beginning to perform your prayers, as you perform your prayers, you're moving toward the point of sunrise. That's where you cross the ecliptic at 23 degrees angle. So that's the angle between the equator and the ecliptic. And then you go, do your 4 rakats, and then 4 rakats, and then gradually comes, evening. You think sun starts to go down. Of course, the sun doesn't go down. It's the rotation that makes it look like. You come over here, and once again, you cross the ecliptic, come to the zone, and you perform your prayers. And again, over here, you're crossing the ecliptic at 23 degrees angle. The number were also interesting to me because the 5 integers of daily prayers are composed of 2 prime numbers and 3 square numbers. And then it was interesting because the 2 prime numbers could be 5 and 17, or 3 and 5. But the 2 primes are also 2 and 3. And then the first time we see the word prayer is in chapter 2, verse 3. Deep. It is deep, the same way that the connection between the daily prayer and the cryptic codes or muqatta'at it's deep. So I did consider it. And then we have the 23rd code, which is related to muqatta'at or the cryptic codes, and they are related to daily prayers, but also is a special with 2 letters in the first verse and 3 letters in the second. So it was interesting. The reason behind seasons, the Earth's axis of rotation tilted at 23.4 degrees, and here is our planet. And this is 23.4 degree here. The reason behind seasons, the Earth's axis of rotation tilted at 23.4 degrees, has been understood for centuries. 500, 600, 700, 800, 900 years ago, more. They knew about this thing. However, the cause of the tilt of the Earth axis, as well as those of other planets and the sun, have remained elusive. You think scientists know everything, huh? They don't know anything about these tilts. There are some assumptions that big rocks hit them. But over here you can see Venus is tilted big time. Saturn, tilt is bigger than us. Uranus is moving on its belly. And then also you can see Mars and Neptune have very large tilts. And more important than all of them is the sun itself. The sun has also a tilt. But the smallest planet here doesn't have the tilt. It's perpendicular. And the largest planet also almost perpendicular. How could that happen? And the smallest one is also the first planet of the inner planets. And the largest one is also the first planet of the outer planet. Anyone has any answer? No. According to the fundamental assumptions of the solar system theory, the sun's and planets' axis of rotation must be perpendicular. It must be to their orbital planes. But 6 of the 8 planets and the sun violate the assumption. These are fundamental assumptions. but they violated. Mercury and Jupiter, which are perpendicular and almost perpendicular to their orbital planes, pose additional challenges. So they don't help to explain the other ones, but they cause more problems because they are the smallest and largest planets, as well as the first planets of the inner and outer planets. Why are these two different from other planets and the sun? Could there be a bigger picture, a higher order, and a different story? Could there be a bigger picture, a higher order, and a different story? That's a reasonable question to ask. In this work, we introduce a very different narrative that is numerical. It's not something that be observational or anything like that. It's numerical, straightforward. We don't even have decimals. Straightforward, visually appealing, and seamlessly integrates with our celestial surroundings. But its logic is beyond our capacity to comprehend. And in this work, we present the first equation of this system. Okay, here we have the 5 integers of the daily prayers. And as you can see, we have the first 4 begin with 2 and ends with 3. And these 2, the 2 is here in the astronomical twilight zone before the sunrise. Then we cross the ecliptic. We come here, do the 4 rakat prayers. Then we do the 4 rakat prayers again. And then we come cross the ecliptic again. And then we are here in the astronomical twilight zone. And we do the 3 rakat prayer. So like from 2 to 3. When we raise them up to the power of 5, we get 2323, which is the inclination of the Earth's axis of rotation in the 6th millennium, sometime in the 6th millennium, but also give us a perfect translational symmetry. Perfect translational symmetry. And when you look at it within the context of the 5 prayers, the 2 and 3 here are really translational symmetry. Now, here we also see that the 2 and 3 of here also explains this, because the 2 and 3, one of the meaning of the 2 and 3, inshallah we reflect on other meanings of this. One of the meanings of 2 and 3 is 23. Which is deep and profound and intricate. And why, rather than random numbers, do we obtain numerical values that fit precisely with the astronomical context of the 5 daily prayers? Why? Inshallah, we continue this work in next episode. God bless you and all of us. Have a nice day.